Hello, I'm Chelsea Fry with Motor Age Magazine. I'm here today with Chubby Frederick, the CEO of Automotive Training Institute, to talk about how to sell value to your customers to help them say yes to your repairs. Chubby, you advise shops to follow a 4-point presentation model for each item or system needed for a customer's vehicle. Could you briefly explain those 4 points?
Yes, this article, which was written in July, Eric Twiggs helped me write it as one of our coaches at ATI. And he has always seen a problem with service advisors trying to rush the process. And great salespeople aren't born either are great service advisors. They become better as time goes on. And they also aren't great every day. They could have a lot going on and forget the basic steps that they should be doing. It's one of the reasons why when service advisors go to a training class, they usually have a higher repair order size immediately after, because it's very simple to forget the basics, especially when you're in a hurry and you're rushed, or you can't get the customer to slow down and listen to you. The 4 points, and I'll read them exactly as they are in the July issue of Motor Age. What is it and what does it do? This is just a simple explanation of what's wrong with the vehicle and why is it important to fix it. Step 2 is what goes wrong? What happens when it goes bad? A lot of people don't understand exactly what goes on when something goes wrong. So, and if you're trying to sell something, they don't know what the downside could be. And most service advisors are pretty good at this. And then what are you going to do to fix it? In other words, why are you recommending it to begin with? This is really important. And people need to hear this, especially if you don't have a tremendous relationship with them and they just do everything you ask. This becomes more and more important. And then step 4, which is above all the most important of all the steps. What is the value? Why should the customer say okay? And what's the win in it for them? And the value proposition is a real interesting subject and something we can all learn from. Customers don't have a value level that's consistent. So in other words, on a scale of 1 to 10, depending upon the time of the year, when a customer may have more money than other times of the year, his value level may be real high. He may be a 10 and you don't have to tell him much and you have a relationship with him. However, at Christmas time, when he's getting tons of Christmas bills or when his kids are going back to school and cash is tight, his value level may be a 6. And it's really interesting because the same customer who may have said yes on a different month is now giving you price objections. And it's only because the value proposition has changed for them. For me, and we have heard the #1 objection, which is, here it is for most shop owners. When you ask shop owners to adjust their pricing, many times they'll tell you, I can't do it in my area, I'm getting too many price objections. And that is true. Some areas are more competitive than others. However, what we see now in shops that have 2 or 3 service advisors is one service advisor doesn't get any price objections and another service advisor gets them all day long. And when you look at the customer satisfaction index reports on one service advisor, everyone loves them and no objection on price. You look at the other service advisor, same amount of tickets, been there the same period of time, but he's not explaining the value of what's the win for the customer, and there's price objections all over the place. So it really is how it's presented. And if we forget to present the value, then a shop owner could come up with, I'll never be able to raise my prices because all my customers are price sensitive. However, in many cases, we've seen that service advisor be trained or let go and a new one come in, and all of a sudden all the price objections go away. So I think the value proposition is what many shop owners and me myself back years ago were missing in the equation. And I think Eric really nailed it in the July article.
In your article, you state that the golden rule of sales is, he who speaks last loses. Could you further explain what that means?
Yeah, I'm guilty of it all the time because I never shut up. Well, what happens when you ask someone to make a decision, their brain is working. Some of us can't stand the silence, but what happens is if you keep talking, you just give them a reason to say no, and you look maybe desperate. You're not giving their brain time to think about it, and you just keep talking and talking and talking. And many service advisors literally talk themselves out of sales. They do everything right, and then they get to the end, and they just, when they ask that closing question, whether it's an assumptive close or it's an alternative of choice close, they just don't give that customer the time they need to have their brain process, what is this a good investment for me, or is this a bad investment for me?
Thanks again for your time and insight, Chubby. To learn more about this topic, be sure to read Chubby's article at motorage.com/sayyes. Thank you.